Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday, September 9th, 2025 meeting of Grafton's Accessibility Advisory Commission. I'm Roger Trahan and I call this meeting to order. First of all, because we are in Zoom status, I will ask, I'll do a roll call to make sure that everyone can hear me okay. Christy Proctor.
Here.
Catherine Dupuy.
Here.
Paul Letourneau.
Here.
Tracy Sharkey.
Here.
And Roger, I'm here. All right. And so I will move to the announcements section of the agenda. And I'm actually convening this meeting in lieu of Alexis Henry, who unfortunately had to tender her resignation. And so the first item on the agenda is announcements on Accessibility Advisory Commission membership. And we weren't able to meet last month due to technical Zoom issues. We would have known about her departure or pending departure during that meeting. And the select board has since accepted her resignation from Accessibility Advisory Commission. So I just have to, share with the commission and the public a huge kudos. She did an amazing job, not only as a member, but serving as chair. It's not an easy task. And, the subcommittee work as well, and just really being a true consummate professional and leader. So that's my 2 cents for now. And so that leaves then 2 vacancies on the commission, with terms expiring 6/30 of 27 from when Aaron Phil, that was his slot before, and then Alexis's was 6/30 of 28. So as I looked back at our last minutes, I had agreed to post that on social media. The committee was okay with that. I guess I'll proceed to do so, but those openings are now posted on the town website. And before we reorganize for chair, vice chair, and clerk, do I have everyone's consent to, even though the select board likely sent her a letter of thank you, from me as well, if I'm voted in as chair, to send Alexis a letter of thank you on behalf of the commission. Yeah. All right. That brings us then to the reorganization for chair, vice chair, and clerk. And is everyone on board with me going through these votes and accepting nominations in lieu of a sitting chair as we currently sit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then I will entertain a motion or a nomination for chair.
I'd like to nominate Roger Trahan as chairman.
Okay,
of the
do I have
committee.
a
Second.
all right, who's seconded that?
Tracy.
All right, all right. Motion made and seconded. I will accept that nomination. Do I have any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor by roll call. Christy Proctor. I can't hear you.
Oh, she's applauding. Yes.
Okay.
Let it be known that she signed yes.
Okay, let it be known that she signed yes. And
Sorry.
Kat?
Yes, I'm a yes. I
Oh, okay.
apologize. My computer froze
Yeah.
and you guys
Okay.
were all talking. I think you might have seen me moving, but I
All right.
sorry.
So Paul made the motion and Tracy
Yeah, I
seconded.
got that.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And all right. So any further discussion? All those in favor? Yeah, Christy.
Yes.
Yeah. Catherine.
Aye.
Paul.
Yes.
Tracy. I didn't hear you.
Yes,
Oh,
I,
okay. You were kind of spotty on the reception.
sorry.
All right, Roger, I declare the motion carried unanimously. And so, all right, I'm chair again. What I will do, I will,
Thank you.
you're welcome. I will email the town clerk and copy the select board town administrator's office, as well as the select board, just so they know, you know, that I would be contact for the commission moving forward. All right, do I have any nominations for vice chair? And seeing as I will like probably never miss a meeting, it's sort of an easy roll, hint, hint. So do I have any nominations for vice chair?
I'm currently in the role and I am fine
I
staying in
will
the role.
nominate Catherine Dupuy.
Yeah, I'm fine staying in the role, so I will accept the nomination.
Okay. And do I have a second?
Yes, I second the nomination.
All right. And I'm just writing my own little notes. All right. All right. And thank you, Catherine. And I didn't want to be presumptuous, but I kind of knew you were going to accept that. Thank you so much. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor by roll call. Christie,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes,
Tracy,
I,
Roger, I declare the motion carried unanimously. And so do I have any nominations for clerk?
Catherine, you better nominate me.
I would say we nominate
Okay.
Christy. She's done such a good job so far.
All right. All right. And
I've
so,
done it before. It's not easy.
and do I have a second?
sure, I'll second the nomination.
All right, motion made and seconded. And you're okay with that? You're cool with that, Chrissy?
Yes, I am.
Thank
I
you
love
so
this.
much. You are awesome at this role. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, you're an 11 as far as your ability to
Thank you.
just, you rock. And all right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor by roll call. Christy,
Hi.
Catherine,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye,
Tracy. Couldn't hear you. Oh, she
I,
froze. All right. Roger, I. All right, Roger, I declare the motion carried unanimously. Okay. So that is the reorganization. So that should show up shortly on the town website. Additional announcements. I'm gonna just acknowledge that we received and I forwarded to the commission an update. I think it's a quarterly update from the Mass Office on Disability. And it has, most of it is like links and things like that. There was some narrative about leadership and things like that. Did everyone receive that?
yes.
yes,
All right, cool. So I just wanted to once again acknowledge that and just invite everyone. I know we get bombarded with emails and things, but I think as chair, I think I need to make a more concerted effort to really lean on and involve the Mass Office on Disability in what we do. It's a free service. They're there. They want us to call them and email them. So that starts with really knowing what they do, how they can best help us and assist us. And then that contextualizes all these emails and links that we receive. So, another announcement that I have, and some of you may have seen this on Facebook, and the Grafton Rec Department has a Facebook page. And there was an announcement yesterday that the work has begun, the accessibility work on Ferry Street Playground, which will include the port in place surface and everything like that, and some new equipment. That was recently voted on for with funds, including, I think, community preservation funds to do that work. So I guess that Ferry Street Park will be closed for about 3 to 4 weeks while that work is being done, but it's exciting because it won't be winter yet and things should be up and running, which is really exciting for the
That's
kids who have been,
Perry Street, North Grafton?
no, South Grafton. That's,
Oh, okay, because,
yeah.
oh, I'm thinking Perry Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's a little park up on Perry Street. But because Paul, if you were to tell me that you didn't know where Ferry Street is, you townie, that would be,
I know.
I'm
Yeah.
teasing. I'm teasing. But yeah, because there is a Perry Street Park. So that's another announcement. And that's all I have for announcements. Anyone else have any announcements that I may have overlooked, whether there's any sort of recognition months or days regarding disability or any community announcements?
No.
Well, I just
Okay.
want to share that, there's several things going on this month. I mean, there's always some disability to either celebrate or bring awareness to. And this is, of course, Service Dog Awareness Month and I believe Chronic Illness Month. I apologize if that's not the exact words, but I
Mhm.
know next month is Disability Awareness Month, Employment Disability Awareness Month. So maybe we want to think later in the meeting under new business for some things to promote
Okay.
related to that. Okay.
All right. So Employment Disability Awareness Month and disability. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just writing little notes to myself. All right, moving on the agenda, item 2, external correspondence. This is a follow-up from Tom Dodd, South Coast Wheelchair Tennis Association, or pardon, Foundation. And that was, it's in the meeting packet. And that was originally on August 6th. And
Mhm.
he thanked us for having, thank you for having us. Without, before me getting into any high level content of his email, are we all okay with me sending out, even though it's a month after the fact, a thank you to him and his organization for coming?
Sure, I think that's great.
Yes.
Okay. All right, then hold on, I'm just writing a note to myself to send him a letter. And he basically acknowledged how things went, and it's detailed in that email about he had kudos to the courts and the parking regarding accessibility. He suggested that we set up a booth next year, and just to bring more awareness to the participants to try this out. And he also mentioned in that same breath signage. So he had mentioned that there were people that walked on the course and played pickleball and tennis. So we actually have that lowered pair of courts reserved. So even the smallest of signs that say that this is reserved would help. And so, yeah, and so he mentioned networking with the rec department and schools, inclusion personnel, for promotion. And and then he had mentioned using 2 courts for wheelchair players using yellow ball, another court for new participants using a red ball. So I think he was saying use both courts versus have spectators in one. I guess there was enough room for spectators, even if we used both courts, is what he probably suggests as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he said plenty of space for people to stand and view from the sidelines. I was being extra cautious and with the anticipation that we may need a table. We really didn't need a table to put on that second court and or spectators. So yeah, we could use both courts, and then he's in his assessment, there was enough room on the sidelines for the people to watch. Invite Boy Scouts and other youth groups. And then he mentioned kudos. Boy Scouts were great at helping us unload and load the van. So, all right. And so
So
aside,
So
was that?
excuse me, if we do this
Yep.
next year, so we should put a sign saying that these courts are reserved for,
Yes, yes.
I
So
think
we
that's
could,
important.
yeah, and I have a laminating machine. I could, you know, once things are laminated, they're not going to get all ruined, even if, well,
Right.
even if the wind, blows them around. So I could always, I think now that they've done it and we have this feedback, we can plan a little bit more in advance. And so, um, so the other external correspondence is an email from Connor Robichaud from CMRPC, which is the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission. And this, I don't know how much this would involve us as far as, but I certainly could see it involving us. So Connor Robichaud is Director of Regional Services for the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission. And he was reaching out on behalf of Shrewsbury, Grafton, and West Boylston as they launch a new PHE, which is Public Health Excellence Shared Services Partnership. And they're going to include new regional staff positions. So he basically was emailing numerous stakeholders within Grafton to seek input to understand our community's needs, priorities, and opportunities to collaborate with them. So, public health, I can only just I'll mention one thing is, let's say, opioid use, and things like that, and other types of awareness, and substance use disorder and things like that is one area that I think that we may interface with that organization. But it was great that right out of the gate he was really being proactive to seek all these stakeholders' input, including ours. So that's about all. And he has his contact information. So that's also in that email you would see is also in the meeting packet for tonight. Then we also received an email from Ted Beauvais of the UUSGU, which is the Unitarian Universalist Society of Grafton and Upton. And they have their location on the Grafton Common. And his communication was dual in nature. And this came in on August 26th, where he wanted to thank our organization, our commission, for support for the lift, which was funded through their capital campaign that also included CPC, or community preservation funds. And that was something that we had endorsed. And that passed the last town meeting. So now that it's almost on the 13th, this would have otherwise been announced. Actually, no, it wouldn't have been announced because at our last meeting, but it's on short notice regarding, there's an invitation that he attached, which is it's a reception that's going to be held this Saturday, September 13th, from 3 to 5:30. And he had asked for RSVPs by August 30th, which is passed. And
Just a little,
what was that?
just a little past.
Yeah. And so, well, that's the thing is that, it was a meeting. We didn't meet, right after that date, but I can't imagine that any one of us would be booted if we, or turned down if we express an interest in participating. I know that typically on Saturdays, that's family time. Is anyone else interested in attending that or attempting to squeeze in as part of those? There's opening remarks at 3. There's a celebration, live entertainment, starting at 3:45. Jan Barlow and the Driveway Chicks, the live entertainment and closing remarks at 5:15. So I would think that, with the exception of the opening remarks and the closing remarks, that 2-hour window is more of or less an open house. I can't imagine everyone that drops in is going to be staying the duration. So,
Right.
is anyone interested among us at attending that or dropping in at all?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No.
I'm sure that at a moment's notice, we'd be able to check things out. What I would like to do is I will reach out to Suzanne Mass, who's listed as a contact, just to at least, be able to swing by. I'll probably be there on foot. I mean, even though it's family time, even if I just pop my presence in just to take a look, see, maybe take a picture or two to put on social media to really advertise the results or the outcome of people's, this part of his tax money,
Right.
and so I may very well reach out to them to stop by, even if ever so briefly. And then if I could just double back to Christie under 1A, under the membership and Alexis's resignation, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Alexis's cover sheet, her email cover sheet, was addressed to Amber Monk in the Select Board Town Administrator's office. And, Alexis personally thanked Amber for her support of our work. Amber Monk has been really instrumental in the Town Administrator Select Board's office at really just, I mean, she keeping us straight on the Zoom schedule, answering any questions. She's the one that, even though we go to the town clerk to post the agenda, Amber's the one that posts our meeting packet. And so she's always like super reliable, super on time with everything she does. So I just wanted to publicly acknowledge not only Alexis's sentiments, but my own in experiencing her the professional way in which she and expeditious way in which she handles her her day. So so moving then, skipping back. All right. So meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the draft meeting minutes of July 8th, 2025?
Yes, I make a
All right.
motion that we accept them.
All right. Motion made by Paul, seconded by.
I'll second.
All right, Catherine. All right. Do I have any comments on the or input on the motion?
Do you want me to pull them up and share the screen?
Yes, please. That would be great. Oh, I gotta. All right.
I know I have them. I have them ready to go.
All right. Do I need to share? Press share.
Let me see. Let's try sharing and see what happens. Yeah, you have to allow me to share.
All right. Share. Hold on a second. Does that work? Oh
No,
boy.
you're showing your screen now.
Oh boy, I just messed up. How do I do that? All right. Wait a minute. Hold
You
on a
can
second.
stop the share.
All right. How do I stop the share?
You should have it up at the top of your screen. It should say view options. You can stop the share.
You are sharing. Oh, hold on a second. All right. So, okay. So now
you
what do
are.
I do?
Okay, so you're going to go to where it says share the screen, and you're going to say with participants or with co-host or with whomever. And if it's not there, then you're going to go under participants, pull up my name, and allow me privileges for sharing
All right. Hold on a second.
under more.
Under more. I don't see more.
So see under my name, it says Christy Proctor mute and then more.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I see mute and then I see the three dots.
Yeah, and then go to that and it should say allow for screen sharing.
Allow multi-pin. No, it doesn't. You know
Okay.
what?
Then
Alright,
go back to share screen on
Yeah.
your screen. Don't actually do it though. Allow it to come up with the options.
Advanced sharing options
Yes.
or
Yes.
host and panelists. Okay.
Yes. Allow us to share. There you go.
Oh, I think I just shared. Oh, what am I
Nope,
doing?
you haven't shared anything. You're fine.
All right. So, how many panelists can share at the same
I'm
time? One
sharing.
panelist? Oh, you're already
Okay,
sharing?
I'm in. We're
I don't
sharing.
I don't see anything. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
so-
just had a couple of, items, very small.
Okay.
So under the, you call the meeting to order and then roll call, but then under absent Tracy Sharkey.
Okay. Okay.
And
Thank you.
then you're welcome. And then one other item under 4. Oh, hold on a second. There's okay, so wait a minute. National Night Out. Waiting to hear from, I say this, wait, I'm just, so A, B, okay, so under 4B, 71 Main Street, South Grafton, right, a couple above the next meeting section.
yeah.
Fourth line, no, third line down, it's the facilities, and it would begin with caps. Facilities Assessment Committee, not Inspection Committee.
Okay.
And then each of those 3 words would be capitalized, Facilities Assessment Committee.
Okay. But I really want them to be the inspection committee.
The Inspector Gadget
Oh,
Committee.
That's so funny.
All right. Okay. And that's, all right, that's the only 2 things. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor by roll call. Christy,
Aye.
Catherine,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Tracy.
Abstain.
Okay, Roger, I declare the motion carried. 4 in favor, none opposed, 1 abstention. Okay, so because we don't actually have draft, the oxymoron minutes, non-minutes of August 13th, I'm gonna ask Christy that you have the Word document for August 13th, right?
Yeah, someplace. Yep.
All
I,
right.
I know I have it in email at least.
Could you do me a favor and just prepare some sentence that says this meeting was never called to order due to Zoom technical difficulties or something. So that what I'll do is I'll simply carry over this agenda item to the next meeting.
On the actual meeting minute or on the agenda, how do you want me to word it?
No, in other words, what you would do is you wouldn't have to keep any of the, in other words, you can make a duplicate or however you want it. You wouldn't even have to do anything but erase the content.
Okay.
In other words, it doesn't need to
Oh,
be
I
any
see.
agenda items. And
Yep.
what it is that the only content, and I would even exclude the Zoom guidelines that take up 3 or 4 pages, and just, it can be 1 page that says that that shows the Zoom posting and all that information, but
Yeah.
below it, no meeting was ever called to order due to technical difficulties with the Zoom
Yeah.
or the Zoom program or something like that, because the town clerk will be looking for the the minutes of a meeting that really never existed, but they need to like close that loop
Yep.
that nothing occurred.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And so I'll just carry that forward. I think technically we could probably vote on it, but at least by having a sample in the meeting packet, I think that's the way we would normally do things.
Okay.
And then, so moving forward to old business, we covered National Night Out. Actually, no, we didn't. We covered wheelchair tennis. So let's incorporate both. We already talked about Wheelchair Tennis Foundation, South Coast. As far as National Night Out, I was out of town. I was out of country. How'd things go? And we had to pause, or we had another organization for therapy,
Yep.
emotional support, dogs.
So let me tell you how it went, everybody, because it was a long night.
Okay.
It was really impossible because we should focus on one or the other. And I think we should really focus on the South Coast Wheelchair Tennis Foundation
Hmm.
and let someone else do the pause. But everyone, all the little kids love the togs. But you know what? There's so much for the little kids to do. I'm
Right.
just going to say that there really was a better awareness of the audience. And it really is the younger, the younger teenagers and parents. And I think the way the wheelchair tennis is that we needed a greeter at the tennis court so that as people walked across the parking lot, you could promote it there.
Right.
We need to have our table there. We need to have like sawhorses with signs leaning against it because people don't read the signs on the tennis court. It's not very visible to hang up the signs on the
Right.
fence. I think we have to be very much more booth-like and even have a tent if possible. Again, like was said before, better signage, having more hands to greet and assist the event. And here's my thought. Let's challenge some people beforehand and actually book them.
Right.
So let's challenge some members of the select board. I don't even know. That's not even a good example, but
Oh, yes, it is. Let's get them.
well, I know, but they're not really famous. I was thinking like let's challenge the football team or the soccer team or
Right.
some junior
Yes.
hires. Like
Yes.
somebody who's going to be more kid friendly and kid appropriate because I think
Yeah.
that's where it gets to be a little more entertaining than watching older people do it. I think
Right.
that the Boy Scouts who did it really were impressed with how hard it was. And I
Right.
think they had the eye-opening moment. And I talked with and I apologize. I can't remember the scout father's name. He's I met his son. And I know it. As soon as I see the name, I'll know it. It wasn't I think it was 107s, but he said he'd love to just have a standalone activity with the boys to have them come out and do that. You know,
Oh,
like
no. Oh, wow. That's
that could be
awesome.
its own program. And maybe they could do it for Olive Grafton, Olive
Right.
Grafton Scouts or Olive Grafton, whatever. So the point of booking people in advance and doing more of a challenge is that you have the opportunity to promote it earlier. The parents know about it. It gets the buzz going, and then see how that goes because there was so much potential there, but I wasn't able to capitalize on it because I was way over. I was oh guys, it was terrible. Not that it was terrible. I don't mean to complain. What I mean is that I was near this mobile unit, and this truck had the engines going, and the
Oh,
fumes were just atrocious. So I
yeah.
moved the table. I had such a headache by the end. We just weren't in a good place setup wise, and the opportunity just it was just too, like I said, we were too far apart. So I think that you know, we really have to be on that parking lot path, right where the tennis court ends, and before you get to the driveway to actually go into the
Right.
night out event.
And
And
I,
Yeah,
um,
Paul, I'm gonna interrupt you for 1 second. Paul had some input. I'm gonna ask.
yeah, two things. I think signage is obviously important, but if we had some artist easels on which we could post those signs up so they can be visible, if we have at least two, and have the art department or the art students in
I
high
can't hear
school
Paul.
Paul, I can.
have the art students in the high school
I'll pull up the
create
captions.
signs indicating what we want them to say. For example, these two.
If I can interrupt you, Paul, can everyone hear Paul?
I can't hear him at all.
Yes, I can.
Oh. I can hear you, Roger.
Oh,
That's weird.
That's
My audio
odd.
turned on.
well,
Okay.
he had mentioned about easels and having easels there, and then members of like you're talking kids from the art department help with
high
the
school.
signage. The high
Yeah.
school.
High school
so
kids make the signs.
have high school kids make the signs. So that, I mean, those are all excellent ideas. What I wonder is the National Night Out will not be canceled if it stops raining and the ground is still damp. They cannot play on even damp surface. That's why last year was canceled, because it wasn't a completely dry surface. It was a hazard. But National Night went off without a hitch. Otherwise, what's our backup plan? I don't know. But one of the things I would recommend that I could throw in some money to fund this, because everyone has a different size tennis racket. So racket wouldn't be a good giveaway, but a raffle of like number of canisters of tennis balls. So regardless of the size of one's tennis racket, everyone uses tennis balls, and so maybe
Yeah.
having some giveaways of
Aren't they Dunlop? Isn't that the
yeah, that's a great brand, something like that. So that even if they didn't, if that didn't occur, that we would have at least something, maybe even some type of handout or some type of general information about adaptive tennis or even adaptive sports in general. And then
including basketball?
Yeah, including basketball. Yeah. Yeah. Put aside and reserve the basketball courts too. But but at
That
least
would be
having,
indoor. That wouldn't be affected by the rain.
no. There's an outdoor tennis court. I mean, a basketball court adjacent to the
Yeah.
tennis courts.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Having something indoors really becomes problematic. It's just,
Yes.
it's its own rental, it's its own custodial stuff and responsibility. But just something that if it had to be canceled, that we'd still be out there with some sort of informational about adaptive sports in general, including tennis, and having some sort of giveaway, which could be tennis balls. I think it would attract a lot of people to the table if there was a signage that they could win something of value. So
Perhaps a gift certificate
yeah,
for purchase of basketball paraphernalia of some
Mm.
kind. I mean,
or
tennis.
or a Dick's Sporting Goods or something.
Right.
But
Yeah.
So anyway, any other comments about National Night Out? All right.
I would just add that the folks who came from the South Coast Wheelchair Tennis League, they brought so much additional equipment. Everyone who wanted to had a chance to play. That was really cool.
That's awesome.
Good.
Yeah. And I don't know if there was a volunteer she lives in Grafton that Tom Dodd mentioned.
Yes.
Did she show up?
Yes. Yep.
What a great point person to have someone within their organization that lives in town.
Maybe she'd want to be on our commission.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
It's a nice
She's very
idea.
nice. Yeah, we had a nice chat at the end of the evening.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's chat offline, Christy.
Mhm.
We can put a bug in her ear
Okay.
as far as membership.
I do have, I have one question. Chrissy,
Sure.
how was the entertainment for the kids? I mean, what kept their attention? Oh, she didn't hear me.
Oh, what kept the kids' attention? The entertainment. What kept the kids' attention?
They did have a canine unit do some drills. It was all the trucks. They had a flyover. It was the free cotton candy, free pizza.
Oh,
know.
that's good. I should have been there. I like free pizza. Hmm. The reason I ask, I'm just wondering if, you know, in days of yore, when people took their kids to a carnival, for example, very often there was a puppet show, a hand puppet show.
So yeah,
Eh,
he said in days of yore that they'd be when people brought the kids to a carnival and they'd be puppet shows and so forth and so
Jugglers
on,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
jugglers and things like that. So it sounds like they do all individually and combined, all the vendors in the town and rec and everyone else do a phenomenal job at this
Yeah.
annual event. So, all right, moving on. Grafton Public Library accessibility, Tracy. I'm thinking that we could probably put a lot of this stuff to rest. If you could give an update on where things stand and you know,
Sure. So the Grafton Public Library accessibility, I was corresponding back and forth with Kim from the library. I did do a site visit there. I specifically was looking at the front entry door and the illuminated exit sign. So I did send them a request for adjusting the door um, weight and also replacing the illuminated sign with the proper accessible illuminated exit sign. I have not heard back on any of the improvements. I also had my third party reviewer actually write a letter and I submitted that to the library as well.
all right.
So it's fairly new construction. Um, unless items have been moved around, it should be fully accessible as it was intended to be.
All right.
So-
So, Kim Lipinski, who you had spoken with, she's the executive secretary to who is now the interim director, Gene Collins.
Mhm.
While the trustees, and I'm also on the board of library trustees, so I can carry this forward. Kim has been really phenomenal at keeping an accurate and updated punch list.
Mhm.
So I'll be sure that this is included. There's always a monthly walkabout by one of the trustees. That's one of the things that even though trustees are an executive committee, it's a sort of boots on the ground board as well insofar as one of the trustees will typically do exterior and interior walkabout to complement your findings, Tracy. And also there's a director's report part of the Board of Library Trustees monthly meetings that touches upon facility issues. So I'll be sure that that gets on our agenda as an update.
Great. And we also, with the fire department, the building department is required to do our periodic inspection. So we are going to have our annual inspection of the building. It's for safety of public buildings. So we will be conducting that very shortly.
Is that an unannounced or announced?
Announced,
All
scheduled.
right. All right. So Kim knows about that.
Yes, she's
Okay.
all of the reports that are required, fire extinguishers, sprinkler reports,
Right.
things of
Awesome.
nature. So we are going to probably schedule that within the next month. And the
Awesome.
periodic inspection required.
All right. Thank you so much, Tracy, for all of your hard work on that. I know there's been a lot of back and forth
Yeah.
on this. So I guess for the time being, then it'll be now in the hands of the trustees and you know, the powers that be. So I guess we can.
Yeah, yes, I think our part is done. The question was raised, it's been fully investigated, and it
Right.
asked to the proper people to handle that.
Yep. All right. Yes, Christy.
This is interesting because I can't hear Tracy either. So who knows what's going
Oh.
on with my audio, but
Oh boy.
in the meantime, Tracy, we're still waiting for that sign to be erected out front of the library that states that the accessible entrance is around the side. And that sign was approved almost 3 years ago, has never been erected. The contract, I don't know where the deliverable is on this sign, but the sign states very clearly, as you look at the stairs, and it was supposed to be erected to the left of that, that the accessible entrance was to follow the path around to the left, take the sidewalk, and go to the east side of the building. And the accessibility icons included a stroller, a skateboard, a cane, and the forward wheelchair, so that it wasn't just about disability, it was accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't seen it.
The first,
So just want to let you know that sign, we paid money for something, we haven't gotten that something.
So let me double back, Christy, because so Tracy's earlier comment about you know, we're basically all the I's have been dotted and T's have been crossed with respect to our involvement, her involvement in the library, insofar as the inspections are moving forward. The necessary annual inspection, it's annual, right, Tracy? Annual inspections by the fire department and such will be moving forward. All of the things that Tracy had mentioned are going to be addressed, you know, should be addressed by everyone involved on the library's end, and including me saying that, yeah, the trustees, you know, we will include this in our meetings as an update. But Tracy, to your in answering Christy about the signage, do you have I know the trustees had mentioned this in the past meeting, but I don't know if it went anywhere, and I guess we could handle it internally unless you have additional input, Tracy.
I am not aware of a sign that was required to be installed. So I can check on the records. Not sure. It's
Well, you know,
but-
our library chair, Doug Bowman, was on the library building committee anyway. I'm sure he has some. I could reach out to Doug
Okay.
about the accessible signage. So I'll ask Doug Bowman about that, and then making sure that the updates, the accessibility update, that those items are included among the comments on the either the walkabout or some part of our next meeting's agenda.
okay. I'm gonna just take a peek on the portal for the library extension permit. I'll just see where. Yeah, I'll have to take a peek on where that sign is.
So you're saying, I'm wondering whether it was it a professional sort of sign company, or I can't imagine it was a DPW grade signage that we would have done
No,
internally.
the architects designed the sign for us,
Okay.
the folks down in Connecticut.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good hint.
Okay.
Yeah. There should be a manual with
I
all,
approved that sign. They showed me the mock-ups. They showed, yeah, and then I maybe last spring sent it out and reminded people this still needed to be done. And I think, I'm not sure if I sent it to the woman. Oh, I can't remember her name. I'll think of
Where
it. I'll think of
was
it.
it?
The woman on your trustees board,
Was it? All right. Well,
or
it
Friends
was
of the
it.
Library.
Oh, all right. So that would have been Carrie Hogan,
Nope.
Dana Wilson.
Yes.
All right. So Dana's no longer, her term ended and she didn't re-up. So she's still with the Friends, but she's not with the trustees.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So what was your communication with Dana?
No, I said to her, this needs to get back on
Oh, okay.
everyone's scope. And she
Okay.
said, you need to write to Mary Fritz. I don't think I ever did.
Yeah. She was chair of the building, planning and building committee for the library. And I think that committee is now since disbanded.
Yes.
And so everything, their work is done. So I'll speak with Doug Bowman about
Okay.
that because pretty sure, yeah, Doug was on that committee.
He
And
was.
he's currently library trustees chair. So kill two birds with one stone. He would absolutely have some insight or would know who to contact to get that completed. All right, awesome.
and that sign may need a sign permit.
Oh, okay. May need a signed permit, Christie.
Because I'm not seeing it included in the decision from 20,
What was that? You're not seeing it in the decision, Tracy, for what?
May 2019. I'm seeing
May 29th, what year? You faded out.
May 2009. May,
2000,
yeah.
2019, you said?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and I'm wondering whether, Grafton Common the Historic District Commission needs to also
Yeah.
look at that aside from, is it planning board or ZBA that looks at that?
Depending on the sign, so we do have allowable dimensions. I'm trying to locate this sign information right now, but if it's within the dimensional allowances of that zone, then you don't need to do additional approval. So it
Okay.
would just be a sign permit.
All right. So you don't see any signed permits being pulled or anything back then, do you?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Then I'll include that in my inquiry to Doug. All right, moving forward, old business 4C, Grafton request for accommodations form on Accessibility Advisory Commission webpage. Tracy.
So the form is live. What I can do, so we typically go, if you do the landing page, online permitting.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be the interpreter, I guess, because Chrissy, you can't hear Tracy, right?
No, but I have my captions going.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, never mind. All right, then you're all set, Trace. Thanks.
So if everyone wants to take a look at online permitting, Accessibility Advisory Commission grievance complaint form, we can take a look at that. You can do the select apply and see if that's something there's edit, if that's something that we want to keep. But I've sent that live. And it could be a separate one for employees plus the public, but let me know if anyone thinks.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then old business 4E. So we received an email, a lot of committees did, from the town clerk because it kind of, aside from the town clerk following protocol, the Attorney General's office kind of puts heat on the cities and towns to make sure that the minutes that posted agendas are matched to meeting minutes. And there's 7 sets of meeting minutes that are noted from 2020 as being outstanding. Okay. And hold on a second. I'm just looking. I seem to have had, I thought I had a listing, but part of this listing includes whether or not a TV, on our YouTube station, a TV, a video accompanied the agenda, which meant that the meeting actually took place versus didn't take place. Sometimes we post, oh yeah, National Night Out, we may have a quorum, and then we forget to, approve the minutes or submit something to the clerk that the meeting didn't take place. So I will look back. I have a pile behind me that's like the height of a small child of of meeting stuff, going back to 2019 when the committee was reconstituted. And so I will look for those. I didn't include the dates. I don't think it's neither here nor there, but I think it was just Christy and me who remained. Well, actually, Catherine, you were on the committee back in 2019, right?
Yeah, she was. And
Yeah, I was a founding member
yeah.
technically. Yeah.
Oh, so the three of us have been on the commission for 6 years. So I will look back at what I did as chair was, and I think I'll be able to find this quite easily, is that I kept a running tally, and it kept on getting longer and longer if we didn't approve multiple sets of minutes. And then I can see where it finally tailed off, any particular date. I think that it's possible that maybe some of these were done, we approved them, but then the final approved minutes with any changes, some of them may not have gotten submitted to the town clerk. So I'll look into that and keep everyone apprised of what's going on, just to close that loop. Because on the town website, if you look back, every committee under the new format, it shows the date. It shows like whether agenda was posted. Then the second column is whether the minutes have been approved and submitted. And then the third is a little TV icon, whether the particular meeting was taped and is on our YouTube, town YouTube channel. And so I'll look into that.
But for the most part,
this is
I'm gonna
before
just-
you became clerk.
yeah, I was going to say I did July 2020. I still remember. And then everything else was missing, but we hadn't met for 1 month of that.
Right.
So that's why it came down. But I'm going through the clerk's message too right now. And yeah,
What
she asked,
date was that? I printed it, but I have I have a pile of stuff in front of me to my left and my right.
I know,
that
I'm looking for
They're all in
from
2020.
Amy Berry.
Yeah, but it was all of the yeah, I don't know. As
It
far
was
as
2020. Here it is. I gave her 8/20/2020.
okay, so
And
So-
this is what she's looking for. You ready for the list?
yeah,
January 16th,
yeah,
May 21st,
yeah,
July 16th,
yeah,
August 20th,
yeah.
September 17th. There's no recording.
But on the others, there are recording.
There are recordings. We just have to watch and submit the notes. That's what she wants.
Yeah, and I think on January 16th, I remember that was, I think I'm the nerd that remembers this stuff from like 5 years ago. I think that was in the upstairs room where a good portion of the front end of the meeting was cut off. And so there were additions
I
and,
remember that too, now that you mention it.
and so I had asked, I was like, what happened to the front end of this meeting? Because there was some stuff I needed to fill in and I don't recall writing it down. And so I was relying on the meeting recording to fill in the announcement section. I can only speak to January of 20. So you're saying that, so what
Yeah.
about the 6th and 7th meetings? What's,
Okay, then after that, September 17th, where there is no recording, the last two meetings that are missing are October 22nd
yep,
and December 17th from 2020.
okay. So
Yeah,
all,
so the only meetings minutes I gave her were from 8/20/2020.
oh, so we approved those and you submitted them?
Yep,
All right.
that's the only one that she was looking for that I had.
And when did you become clerk?
I'd say not till 2021 or 22.
So August 20th of 2020, you submitted them?
I substituted.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I did give her some outstanding minutes from December 2021. So I was the clerk at the end of
Okay.
21.
All right. So I will look at those others. Actually, I will look at all of these because it don't know why that these weren't, you know, if you could, Christy, if you could forward me the email, if you could locate the email from which you submitted those August 20th of 2020 minutes, I'm just curious, just so, you know.
Just did.
All right, thank you. Only because it just kind of makes us look bad if we can show that we did that, but then they're only stamped in now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But and it's possible that there were other meetings that didn't take place and that we didn't you know, maybe we skipped over December. It was near the holiday, who knows? You know. So
I
I'll
seem to think we might have.
yeah,
That's what Catherine thinks.
I believe
Yeah.
you.
I feel like we met and we're like, a lot of us have plans. Some
Yeah.
of us are out of town. Why
Yeah.
don't we just
So
not meet up?
I'll look at my pile of nonsense to see, and I want to square this away, you know, in short order. All right. All right. So other old business actually would be another letter or because I had added something that we could call F if you want. I don't know. I need to follow up on having the town administrator's office add our 2024 town report to our webpage. And because I also think it helps advertise our vacancies so that people know, even though the prior years are on there too, they can at least be caught up to speed in looking at the 2024 report as part of weighing whether this is a commission they want to sit on. And then what I hadn't done and is further advertise the openings on social media that we discussed in July. Like on all things Grafton Rise. I know, Christy, I think you and I had spoken about maybe reaching out to CPAC to see if there was interest in someone serving on the commission. And then I need to, I don't recall whether I have, hold on a second, I'm going to quickly look through my texts where had to do with making sure the Facilities Assessment Committee was taking into consideration our ADA self-eval from 2019 as part of its assessment. Okay. No, I hadn't done that. So I just, I'll do that to make sure that, it technically wasn't an ADA self-eval, but, by having the items that were identified in that eval be front and center already out there, they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's still outstanding, or maybe it's been addressed and people didn't know it. Sometimes in the self-eval, the low-hanging fruit was there was a big box of something in the hallway. And you know what I mean? It wasn't even something that required expertise. It just something was there that shouldn't have been, and it's since been moved. And we talked about that, you and I, Tracy, about the library. It's like maybe there was something in an aisle, let's say, and then that it's been moved. It's really something that's not a permanent deficiency that needs to be addressed with any costs. So I'll follow up on those. Any other old business items before we head to new business, which we agreed would be Disability Awareness Month and Employment Disability?
Mhm.
Are we all set with old business? All right. Okay. All right, then new business, employment, Disability Awareness Month for October. And so it's also employment disability?
No, it's National Disability Employment Month.
Oh,
NEDM. But a lot of people, especially on our campuses, just call it Disability Awareness Month. We take out
okay,
the employment and we just use it to celebrate. And then our other big month is April with autism acceptance.
sure. So do you think that maybe, is there a sort of recognized flyer or icon or something that we could simply copy and paste on to our webpage? And then any one of us could then further advertise at the beginning of October or at the end of September leading into October that this is happening?
Well, I would first borrow anything from the Mass Commission on Disability if they're doing something,
Okay,
and then really encourage throughout the town, not just our administration in the town, but to participate in any free workshops.
okay,
The big one we have coming, that's in Marlborough, it's a statewide employment and disability event, is with Jill Brenner, and it's going to be talking about how to be less ableistic and more welcoming to neurodiverse employees in the workforce from start
Sure.
to finish, including the interview process, all the way through hiring and supporting them in the job. So, those types of things that really bring newer information to people, not just saying the old thing, you have to hire people. No, you don't have to hire people. You have to hire people who are qualified and not ding people because they don't look you in the eye during an interview.
right, right.
So, anyways, so maybe I can look around at the Mass Commission on Disability and
And
see if
then
there's anything
Thank you.
in Alexis's
we could borrow.
In Alexis's absence, I'm going to mention Work
I'll
Without
make note
Limits.
of that.
So
What was that, Catherine?
in Alexis's absence now, I'm going to mention Work Without Limits, which is the organization that she works with.
Okay. What without
It's
limits?
through Work Without Limits.
Work Without
Work without,
Limits.
okay,
It's
yeah.
through
Yeah. We have them coming in
UMass
October
does it.
for
Yeah.
disability benefits.
All right, cool. So you'll look into that, Christy, about MOD?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then just putting something like we had in the past, like but not only just putting it on a web page, but we'll be meeting. It'll be we're not meeting again until October 14th, and that's halfway through the month. So as a commission, what can we agree that maybe you and me, Christy, could just unless anyone else wants to hop on board to help advertise stuff. I mean, typically I'll advertise things on Facebook, Instagram, and then Facebook, all things Grafton and Grafton Rise. I'll call out Grafton Group, kind of seems fringe, but I'm still on it just to know what people are thinking around town. And so I'll leave it at that. And I'll take the heat for calling them out in my own personal opinion.
I
But
have a question for Tracy. Tracy, when does the town do training on compliance for anything? I'm just going to say for disability to start, but when do they do training? Do they ever get an opportunity to close like the library does and do trainings?
I'm not sure about that. I can check and get back to you. We did a Narcan training last week. So there are some programs that we do, usually associated grant funding, but other than general accessibility and emergency stuff, I haven't participated in any since I've been there.
Okay.
I think in recent years, I'm talking about 3 and 4 years ago, having brought to the attention, I'm not sure who may have contacted. I don't know if who the town administrator was at the time or assistant, but I think we had brought it to their attention about the various programs and that this is maybe when we first started doing Zoom stuff as far as whether or not we would move forward with a lot of this stuff then being Zoom. And that would probably be easier for, more participation, at least, and the presenter wouldn't have to travel from wherever to train people.
Mhm.
And I'm sure some of these trainings could be regional too. They wouldn't necessarily be limited to Grafton. And Christy, do you remember, and Catherine, just because of your tenure along with me on this commission, whether or not I think that some of these trainings cost money, but I can't imagine all of them do. It's possible that the ones that cost money is because MOD is actually hiring someone to do these trainings.
Yes, Work Without Limits is pretty expensive. Even if
Okay.
it's in Zoom, they have a limit. You can't have more than 50 people in the room
Okay,
for a set cost,
yeah. But is there any incentive? In other words, I mean, all right, so we have certain staff that are union and certain that are non-union. And so, I don't know, at least on the union end, what the wording of these different contracts says about trainings, whether mandated or not. And for the non-union folks, I don't want to, open up a big discussion, but I recall us having discussions in the past when we first got reconstituted in 2019 about whether the scope of our work was just quote unquote municipal or whether it's spilled over to the schools, um, and we, and that includes like they had their own self-eval, ADA self-eval that was not included in the original municipal one that we had in 2019, for instance. And so, so I don't know, when we find out about these programs or trainings, is it limited to municipal non-school? How do we cross that bridge? Because a lot of what we've done has not integrated the school district. And I don't know whether they do things that would be duplicative or whether it's hands off once the union, contract is in place and that their development days are the development days. that assumes that it's during work time. But because I think that this, by having an incentive that's work related, I think there's a lot of people who would take trainings and participate in trainings, even if it weren't part of their work. But once we advertise a training that is during the workday, we may run afoul of people's schedules and commitments and maybe even union agreements, so so it's possible that some of these programs wouldn't be part of a formal professional development program, but would certainly benefit the community, I would think, when people are made aware of certain things, and that would enhance employees' ability to do their job with an accessibility, lens and focus. But I think it can get complicated when you're talking about when do we squeeze it in, and is it going to run afoul of a union contract to expect that employees who are under union contracts to attend something that's not included in what their contract reads. So we try to help out, but then it can get sticky. Anyone else have any comments on that?
I can give a follow-up at
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'll give a follow-up at the next meeting.
Okay, that would be great.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Any other new business? Since we're in September, Grafton celebrates the holidays. I don't know.
No,
We seem to,
He's
we
like
seem-
it's just around the corner.
and we seem to discuss that a lot. And I think Adam Dupuy and Rec Department has been doing a really, really good job at having more of an accessibility focus than in prior years prior to his tenure. He's really gotten up and running and really approaching things with an accessibility lens. And so I would anticipate that without even our participation or prodding, we can expect to see more accessible venues. But that doesn't mean that we wouldn't come up with our own ideas as well.
Are there any issues that come up during Halloween, for example, which is the next big so-called holiday? I
I mean,
can't think of any of
yeah,
this.
Halloween. Are there any town functions centered around Halloween?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Rec does the trick or treat within the town.
Okay.
That I'll get the now. That is October 22nd.
And what is that on October 22nd?
Friendly trick or treat.
And where is that? Like what does it entail?
3 to 4 at the town hall.
Oh, cool.
Okay. 3 to 4. It's
Each department typically decorates their windows and has little goodies for the kids.
Oh,
oh,
neat.
that's nice. It's good.
What day of the week is that? The
Wednesday.
Wednesday from 3 to 4. All right. And that's an accessible building. Sounds good to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether or not sometimes various, aside from candy, because kids have allergies, do you know whether any of the departments hand out little trinkets or things like that that are non-candy?
I believe I did see some. I'm not 100% sure. I did not. Our building
Okay.
department did not hand out anything except for the candy.
Okay, all right.
I think they probably avoid like candies that have peanuts because so many children have allergies to peanuts.
Right. I don't know if it's peanut free, but it's always neat to have some non-food items and whether it's a pencil or a trinket or a little plastic ring or something like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
Not everyone's into the whole candy thing, but I think that's a great fun activity. And everyone
Yeah.
knows how to get there and it's accessible, so
Good.
awesome. Thank you. All right, any new business items? All right, moving on then. Our next meeting is Tuesday, October 14th at 6:30. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make the motion that we adjourn.
All right, motion made by Paul, seconded by,
I'll second it.
motion made by Paul,
My
seconded by
goodness.
Catherine. And by roll call, Christy,
Aye.
Catherine,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Tracy,
Hey,
Roger, I declare the motion carried. This meeting is adjourned at 8:01 p.m.